There is no age clock on a man. A man doesn't have a time limit. You can get married at 50 and you'll still be able to have a kid. It doesn't matter. It's all, like I keep saying on this podcast, it's all about what you believe out here. Steve Harvey says it's a lot. Whatever you put in the universe, whatever you put out in the universe will give it back to you. The main goal is not the money. The main goal is the freedom that comes with the money. I don't believe in just saving for the sake of saving. You need to have a reason for why you're saving, because if you just save for the sake of saving, any little thing that happens, you're gonna spend that money. There's no man that feels more behind in life like a man who's about 30 and there's nothing going on for themselves. Disclaimer: this podcast is all about real conversations, raw, authentic, and unscripted. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in raw conversations are solely those of the host and the guests. If you're struggling, please reach out to someone qualified. And remember, take what helps, leave what doesn't. Welcome to the circle. Let's keep it raw, real, and respectful. Welcome to Raw Conversations with me, Herald Kavuala. First and foremost, Happy New Year, and welcome to the year 2026. I hope all of you guys had a festive season, time well spent with family and loved ones, and hopefully we're starting the new year refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take out another year. So today's episode is all about something that every man needs to hear, especially in this season as we're starting a new year. I feel like it's good that we start off the new year right. I would assume a lot of us crossed over the year in prayer. Well, I definitely did. Start off my 2026, crossed over in prayer, and I'm hoping a lot of you guys also did as well. But yeah, so we need to step into 2026 with a different mindset, a different mentality, and in a very, very aggressive way, especially as men. This year, we are to focus on making money, building discipline, and becoming the kind of man your future self will thank you for. And this also applies to me myself. I'm also starting this year with a very aggressive mindset on how I approach my life of discipline and how I approach my life of making money, how I approach my life of becoming a better man. So this episode is not just for you, but it's for both you and I. I am also putting this out there for myself. This is not an episode where I want to show you how to make quick riches. I don't know how to make quick riches. If I did, I myself would have been rich already. So I'm not trying to tell you guys unrealistic dreams. I'm not trying to tell you how to make money in 30 days, tell you do Forex, do trading. I myself don't do any of that. I believe in hard work and also believe in working smart. So this episode, I'm just going to share a few things that I myself will apply in this year, and then we can come together at the end of the year and look at our lives and see if our lives panned out differently, of which it will. Once our focus is right, our mindset is right, and making real moves. And this doesn't matter whether you are employed or unemployed. It doesn't matter whether you're a father, whether you're a hustler, or you're still trying to find your path. That's all, like I keep saying on this podcast, it's all about what you believe out here. Steve Harvey says it's a lot. Whatever you put in the universe, whatever you put out in the universe will give it back to you. I'm a strong believer in words of affirmation. I'm a strong believer in speaking out what you want to acquire in this life. If you desire to have a certain lifestyle, you have to speak it out. Some people put it on visual boards, some people put it on the fridges, but if you do not speak it out, your mind does not connect to what you want. And once your mind connects to what you want to achieve, everything else around you starts aligning to that. And I'm a very strong believer. I myself can attest to that. When you put your mind to something and you verbalize it each and every single time, the universe starts aligning towards that. I'm saying universe is equal because I believe that God is the one that makes it possible for all of us. That's what I strongly believe, that it's God who makes it possible for all of us. It's like prayer, When you pray, God has to answer. God has to answer, and God will answer. It's just a matter of time, but definitely God will answer. So 2026 is here, and the truth is the world is not slowing down. The world's actually moving at a very, very fast pace. So let's talk about rising up. Let's talk about making money. Let's talk about taking control. Why is this podcast solely, well, not solely, but mainly focused on men making money? It's because, and I'm going to try to put this video up. I hope I'll find it.
A man without money is a man without a voice. You could be the wisest man in the room, but if your pockets are empty, then no one will listen. Even your family and your relatives will begin to disrespect you. So, get up every single day and work like a savage. Fix your finances, because money fights many battles.
In the last episode, if you guys watched my Christmas episode, I was just thanking you guys for the support and love. I said we've come in a time where money will put you in places where age will not put you. Money will give you respect. Back in our times, when I was younger, the elders were not rich people. They were not people with wealth. These were people who just had wisdom of life and time. And when they spoke to you, you listened. Nowadays, when someone speaks to you, you look at their status, you look at where they are in life. Kanye West is a typical example of this when he had his interview with Piers Morgan. And then Kanye West asked Piers Morgan, how much money do you have? And Piers Morgan responded and says, not nearly as much as you have. And Kanye West said, then why should I listen to you? We're now in a time where money, the amount of money you have, will some way, somehow correlate with the amount of respect people will give you. And that is why I decided to start off this year with this particular episode, that let's get our money up. Let's get our weight up. Let's focus on making that money as men. It's good for our own personal health. It's good for our morale. It gives us respect and allows us to do the things we want to do. It gives us a freedom that we all acquire, or we all desire to have. The main goal is not the money. The main goal is the freedom that comes with the money. But in order to get the freedom, you got to have that money. In order to have that money, you have to put in the work. You have to be disciplined. So please, let's start this year right as men. Okay, so many men are under a lot of financial pressure, emotional pressure, societal pressure. In South Africa alone, the youth unemployment rate is over 40% in South Africa alone. And majority of those people are men. Globally as well, over 40% of adults have side hustles because one income is just not enough anymore. Again, I keep saying a lot of my podcast is it's somehow a reflection of myself. I speak from my experiences. I do not come here and try to act as if I know it all or I know the key to life, how to achieve it in life. I speak from my experiences. One income is not enough. The times have changed. The world we live in is different. One income is definitely not enough. I have a 9 to 5, and yet I'm pushing my podcast so that I can get a second source of income, and then invest in property and invest in other things. And even as we go down this podcast, I will give you a few things, a few places where you want to put your money in that will benefit you with time. Remember, we need to also remember that AI is growing each and every single day. AI is growing each and every single year. Every now and then I want to check on ChatGPT to tell me, oh no, we have this option of an answer and this other option of an answer, which answer you prefer. And every now and then to tell you, oh no, you're using an outdated version. Even ChatGPT is updating itself. We also need to update with the times. We need to find skill sets that will allow us to not fall back. Skill set that will allow us and keep us relevant in the times that we're moving in. And as men, we are the alphas. Okay, as men, we are the leaders. We are the ones who are supposed to be in the front line and make sure we stay relevant. Not our wives, not our kids, not our siblings, but us as men. It's our responsibility to make sure we're always ahead of the game. All right, so making money starts with the mindset. And this is something I'll always keep bringing on my podcast. As a man, you need to have a very strong mindset. You must develop discipline. You must develop consistency, self-respect, emotional control, and long-term vision. Have a vision. Have a long-term vision. Discipline to pursue that vision. consistency to keep working at it every single day. Self-respect for yourself to not do things that will, how do I put this, that will cause you to lose respect amongst your peers, right? And then also emotional control. You cannot be out here getting angry over every little thing. Just because you planned something else and it didn't pan out the way you wanted it to, you're now going to lose your emotions and start causing a tantrum as a little child. Control your emotions. I think that's a very, very, very key thing as a man. Always be able to control your emotions regardless of the circumstances. Whether it's your partner that's just shouting at you and nagging in your ear and you feel like you're losing it, you cannot afford to break. When life is putting you in a corner and squeezing you against the wall and you feel like you're going to pop at any point in time, you cannot break. And I know it's easier said than it is done, but you have to learn to control our emotions. Discipline, consistency, these two go hand in hand. Sometimes you don't feel like doing something, but you have to do it. You have to be consistent. You have to be disciplined enough to tell yourself, look, I might not feel good right now. I might not feel like doing it, but I have to do it. I'm not going to lie to you. Make you guys a very simple example. Today, this morning, I woke up. I didn't want to go to the gym at all. At all. I was just not feeling it at all. But I was like, you know what? I have to. I have put a goal for myself in place that I need to achieve. And how I feel should not be a factor in how I achieve my goal. So I went to the gym. Very, 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 very bad day. I did not enjoy myself at all. But I put in the work. I did the sets. I did the weights that I would normally do on a regular day. A workout that usually took me an hour to do, today took me about 2 hours to do it. Because between sets, I would sit longer than I would normally sit. That's how bad I didn't want to be there. But I did it. And that's discipline. That's consistency. Those two go hand in hand. So please, this year, man, let us develop discipline, consistency, self-respect, emotional control, and long-term vision. We now live in a time where distractions are everywhere. Distractions are just everywhere. Social media. It's mainly social media, especially on our phones. We're on our phones 90% of the time. We're on our phones. We're on our phones for phone calls, on our phone for emails, for WhatsApp, for social media, for gaming. Pretty much everything's on our phones. If not on our phones, it's on our laptops. On our laptops or tablets, but it's always on a screen. It's always on a screen. And the things that we see, the things that we expose ourselves sometimes make us feel as though we are behind. I shared a meme with a friend of mine, not even a meme, but a quote that says that there's no man that feels more behind in life like a man who's about 30 and there's nothing going on for themselves. That man feels as though he's 100 years behind every single person. There's this little cartoon I saw. I also spend time on social media, I'm not even going to lie. But I do that for research purposes and just to keep up with current trends and know what's happening. So when I speak I speak on relevant things. So I saw a little video of cartoon skit of Sarakazi and say, I'm 30. By the time I get married, I'll be probably 33 because then I must still get to know my partner. By the time I'm 33, by the time I have my kids, I'll be 35. By the time I reach this certain age of 50, my child will have already been 20. And then it's like, damn, man, I'm not gonna be able to achieve in this life. I might as well stay a bachelor. No. There is no age clock on a man. A man doesn't have a time limit. You can get married at 50 and you'll still be able to have a kid. It doesn't matter. Age, the clock on time, that applies to women. Women have a financial clock. That's what women have. The sooner you start making the money, the sooner you start achieving the dreams and the visions and ambitions you have for yourself in life. We have a financial clock. We don't have a time clock. So whether you're 35, whether you're 40, whether you're 50, you can still get married and still have a child. That does not matter. In fact, if you're 50, marry a lady that's 25. At that point in time, I generally would even be against it. Marry a lady that's 25. Let her raise the kids while you fade away due to old age. But it doesn't matter. You are a man. Okay, our prime starts in 30. Our prime, we enter our prime in our 30s. That's when we're in our prime. So forget about time clock on the man. Focus on your financial clock. And let's get this thing going, you know. Don't let your friends pressure you into making money you don't have. In other words, don't go and try scamming people and try robbing people and, I don't know, planning a heist with a bunch of friends and then let's just make money the right way. That's all I'm trying to say. Let us make the money the right way. Let us not look for quick money. That's why at the beginning of this podcast I did, this episode, I clearly said, I'm not going to show you or tell you how to make money within 30 days because I myself don't know. If I knew, I would have done it. My goal is by the end of this year, I have goals for myself. As this year is starting, by the end of 2026, I have goals that I've set for myself to achieve. And hopefully by the year ends, I'll remember the show's episode so I can come back and tell you guys how my year went. And I really hope that you guys in the comment section as well can share the goals that you have set for yourselves in this new year. One goal that has to be on your list, and the reason why I didn't bring it out, of course, for me, it's not a lifestyle. But one goal that has to be on your list for 2026 as a man, hit the gym. By gym, I'm not trying to say go and lift weights. You don't have to lift weights. Do MMA. Get into martial arts. Get into, calisthenics. Get into calisthenics. Do some sort of activity, you know. And by activity, I mean something that's physical. Nothing against golf, but like Islam would say, how many calories are you losing? You know, Islam is a MMA fighter who always mocks this whenever this is playing golf. And Islam's like, what are you working? Apart from just working your swing, what else are you working on? Yeah. Do soccer, play soccer. You sprint, you run, you know, you have a lot of physicality, basketball. Go jogging every morning. Do some sort of physical activity. Mainly for your own mental state, for your own health, and you will just generally feel good about yourself. You'll feel good in your own skin. When you're walking around people, you can walk with your chest out and your head held high. That's just how you would feel when you start getting active. So please, let that be on your priority list for the year 2026. Hit the gym. All right? Do something very, very active. But remember this, money is attracted to discipline and not vibes. Your future depends on what you do when nobody is watching you. Let's take the first one. Money is attracted to discipline and not vibes. Now, this can be seen in different states. I know some people will be like, but what if I have a friend who's in the entertainment industry and this person is almost at a club almost every single week. And people think those guys always clubbing, is always spending money on the club. Not even, eh? That person is at the club and he's networking, he's meeting people, he's not spending money. He might buy a drink or two and that drink can actually last him the whole night. He's there on purpose. He's there on a mission. He's there for a reason, to network and meet people, because that's the field he's in. So let everything that you do align to your long-term vision. If you're in a club each and every single week, be there for a reason. Don't just be there for vibes. Don't be there to pop bottles. Don't be there to have the ladies walking out with the sparkles for you. If it does not add to your long-term vision, do not be within it in the year 2026. Your priority for this year is your long-term vision and making money, not spending money. Your future depends on what you do when no one is watching you. In other words, waking up early, hitting the gym, learning new skills, saving money. These are not just habits, guys. These are weapons that you use on every single day life. These are things I myself do. I wake up every day at 4 a.m. Sometimes it's at a cost because my wife sometimes, wants cuddles in the morning, and by the time she wakes up, I'm at the gym. By the time I get back home, I'm setting up to get to work. But that's a price we have to pay as men. That's the price we have to pay as men, especially in our early stages, especially in our early phases. Once we've achieved a certain level of success, once we've achieved a certain level of achievement, we can cut down on the sacrifices that we're making. But we need to start making those sacrifices now. Waking up early, hitting the gym, learning new skills, and saving money. And remember, you're saving money for a purpose. Don't just save money. Because I don't believe in just saving for the sake of saving. You need to have a reason for why you're saving. Because if you just save for the sake of saving, any little thing that happens, you're going to spend that money. But if you put a name and a label to that savings, it makes a huge difference on how you use that money. I have a savings account for my son. No matter how hard things can get, no matter how broke I am, I'll never, ever touch his account because that is his and there's a reason for it. So I can be down to minus in my bank account, not knowing where the next amount is going to come from. And there's his money just sitting in the account. And I'm not going to touch that account because I know it has a purpose. And I've labeled that savings account. So if you're going to have a savings account with a purpose. Don't just have a savings account because a rainy day will be today. Trust me. So yeah. So in 2026, relying on one income is very, very risky. And this is just my suggestions on a few things that, based on my research, prove to actually bring in income. It might not be a stable amount of income. It might not be a fixed income, but at least you'll have an additional amount of money coming in. If you have a 9 to 5 already, it makes your life easier because you know you have a set amount of income that comes in each and every single end of the month. And this other extra stuff allows you to have a little extra to do whatever else you need to do with it. And these are things like online work, freelancing, video editing, building simple websites, online tutoring, social media managing. These aren't things that require you to actually have degrees for. Just be knowledgeable in these things. Freelancing can be in anything. You can be freelancing in giving financial advice, freelancing in, music. You go around playing gigs. Freelancing and being a graphic designer, freelancing. I podcast as well. I edit my own videos and I offer the services to other people that actually need the services as well. So jump on online work, all right? Because the future is digital. We cannot deny that the future is digital. That's where we are going. My second suggestion will be getting into a business. Start small and grow slowly. And then reinvest your profits and keep your expenses low. Business does not mean you just need 100,000 rand to start. It can literally be anything. It can be something as small as getting into Uber. And all the money you make from Uber, you just keep safe space. You just keep putting it aside to say, you know what, I'm going to buy a second car. And that's not even brand new. You can buy a second-hand car. Just put the money aside. Save another 50K, buy a second car. Get a driver to drive that second car while you drive this car. And you got 2 cars on the road. He's making money for you. You're making money for yourself. That accumulates. And then with all the money you're making, you're investing it back. And that will allow you to get into other stuff, venture into other stuff. Start buying products and selling products. Get into business. It doesn't need to be something massive. I'm not saying go and open a mall. You can even open a tuck shop. If you're passionate about baking, open a tuck shop and start selling the cookies that you bake. Guys, start a business. Basically, start a business. And then fourth is investing. Start with whatever you have, even if it's just $50 a week. Consistency beats the amount. That's one thing I've heard a million times, but it's something that I myself, again, like I said, this podcast that I put there also apply to me. Consistency beats hard work. As long as you're consistent, regardless of the amount of energy you put into it, as long as you are consistent, you are going to achieve way much more than anyone else who works as hard as you would achieve. Now, that same applies with, what's the word? I'm forgetting the word. talent and hard work, right? Same thing applies with talent and hard work. Someone will be talented. And I'll give a typical example, man. Cristiano and Messi. This is a story that I've heard quite a number of times. Cristiano is very talented. I mean, Messi is very talented in soccer, and Cristiano is just a very hard worker. But look at the achievements that these two have made. Till this day, we still debate on who is the greatest between Cristiano and Messi, who's better than the other. Cristiano believes that he's just putting all the work that he needs to do, while Messi just believes that he's talented, but at least he also puts in the work. All I'm trying to say is that hard work will always beat talent. Consistency will always beat hard work. So you need to find the balance between the two. I would put consistency at the top, hard work in the middle, and then talent at the bottom. Because no matter how talented you are, if you do not put in the work, you're not going to achieve. And if you're not consistent, you're not going to get to where you need to get to. Right? So let's start off with being consistent, and then putting in the work, and then have some talent. Or identify your talent. What am I good at? I'm good at talking, for example. Right? I'm good at talking. Just for example, I'm good at talking. Sharp. Let's put in the work. Let's create podcasts every single week. Right? That's the work now. Let's shoot, let's edit, let's upload. And then let's be consistent. Because only when you're consistent that people actually get to know you. I read something today that says that consistency beats marketing. As long as you see me every single day, even if it's just one person, as long as you see me every single day, after a certain number of times, you will remember me. But if I take 100,000 Rand and put it towards market, and I market myself for 1 week, and then stop, I'll be remembered maybe for a month, and then I might be forgotten. But as long as I'm in your face each and every single day, you will never forget me. Consistency also beats marketing. Because marketing is usually a time frame. They promote a brand new car, for example, for 2 months. For that 2 months, it's probably going to sell. But after that, it's going to dip. But as long as I'm constantly marketing myself, constantly being out there, even if I'm selling one car every single day, I will sell for hundreds of years. So yeah, guys, that's the episode for today. I really hope I inspired you and motivated you to say, you know what, 2026, let this be the year that I make a difference in my life. Let 2026 be the year that I surprise myself and become the man my future self will thank me for. Set goals for yourself this year, financial goals. And at the same time as well, let hitting the gym be a priority. Fitness, health fitness, go jogging, do martial arts sports. I personally encourage every man to get into some form of martial arts. It's very good for the mind, trust me. You will surprise yourself at how strong your mind can be when you feel like you are dying. I've given this example before and I'll give it again. Fight camp. Whenever I do a fight camp, I feel like I'm going to die. But when the camp is done, I'm like, I survived it. My mind unlocks a new level of life. My mind unlocks a new part of myself to say, the next time I do this, I know I can already do it. So it's going to be less of a strain on me. Physically, the body might feel the pain, but the mind is like, we've been through this before. This is nothing new to us. And last time we went through this, we survived it. So we can survive it again. So please, guys, do a martial art. Just do something. Kickboxing, cage fighting, do something. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thanks so much for watching it. To all my fans out there, guys, I really appreciate you guys. I see the support, I see the love, I see the comments, and I always reply to each and every single one of you guys. This year will be a different year. I might try to bring as much guests as I possibly can so that we can have views from other men as well and have their experiences as well. To all the men that actually, to every single person that actually came to my podcast last year, I really appreciate you guys. Top of my head, I have Delight, I have Fares, I have V, I have TJ, I think those are the guys that actually came through last year. I think that's all the guys that actually came through last year. This year I'm going to try getting a whole lot more other people to come through and try getting also a few more female perspectives. I had my wife on last year in the GBV episode. I just remember that. I'm going to try getting a bit more females as well onto this platform. So we can also hear their perspective of us men. And hopefully we can find a balance and enlightenment amongst ourselves. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. You honestly do inspire me, motivate me to keep going and to keep leveling up and giving you guys better and better. And the more you support the channel, the more I can produce more work of better quality for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've gotten this far this episode, I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I do reply to every single comment. Please do share it with friends and families. Help me reach more people. Help me reach more men. And I will see you guys on the next one. Stay strong and stay raw. Peace.